Well, we have this morning, a job posting for Tesla. It says that this will be a Tesla bot team is seeking an experienced technical program manager to drive the deployment of robots for trial applications. They will work daily with design engineers, infrastructure, manufacturing, and operations team to identify and execute pilot applications of humanoid robots in various manufacturing environments. Work will cover multiple job sites and may require frequent travel. Strong technical skills will be utilized to identify and mitigate risks and react quickly to operational issues in evolving targets. In other words, Tesla is doing what we've been saying that they would do for quite some time now. It's exciting to see that they're making this move. So what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. What is going on here? This is pretty exciting. Meanwhile, the main theme this morning over all of X with regard to Teslas seems to be the continued FSD 12.3 rollout, but it also seems to be that the videos are getting really boring. How many hours of watching someone drive a vehicle that looks like a normal drive can you watch? Maybe the various drivers will now need to add a comedy routine or reading a good novel or something to the videos in order to get anybody to pay attention to these driving videos that have been so popular for so long. I mean, truly, they have gotten completely boring. AJ says this morning, breaking, he says, Tesla grew 33.1% year on year in Europe. Numbers released by the European Authority on Vehicle Sales, ACEA, show that Tesla vehicle sales grew to 37,217 versus 27,954 prior year. In February, Tesla grew at a 15.2% rate. Tesla's market share in February grew to 2.5 across all vehicles. That counts ICE, BEV, hybrids, etc., and 2.1% year to date. So, well, yeah, what's happening to the slowdown in Europe? What's happening to the slowdown period? What's happening to the less interest in BEVs? Well, okay, okay. Meanwhile, Robert Sterling reports this on X this morning. Here's how much the Democrats hate Elon Musk. For today's EPA EV announcement, they had 4 cars on stage, 1 from GM, 1 from Chrysler, and 2 from Ford. But no Teslas. Last year, Ford sold 72,608 EVs, GM sold 75,000, and Chrysler sold 0. Tesla sold 1,808,581. As he points out, he says, what a freaking joke. This is Randy Kirk. If you like what we do here on this channel, would you please hit like? It really helps if you hit that like button. First of all, thank you just for watching. That helps a tremendous amount. Like, subscribe, notify. Okay, later this morning, Cern Basher is going to come and provide us a detailed analysis of what the revenues and the profits will look like from Robotaxi once Robotaxi goes online. Then Bradford Ferguson, he's going to be on, and he's been doing on this, he's boots on the ground right now, driving crisscross across the country using V12.3 now, I think, or at least part of the time, and also getting all kinds of input from people he's running into along the, not running into, that he's engaging with along the line, as well as from X. He's getting polling information in. Should be a super great program tonight with Bradford Ferguson. Then from Patreon, Eric is the latest to support Patreon. Thank you, Eric. And also thanks to MKM Renovations in Canada for getting a Cybertruck bottle opener. That was really cool. And then Patreon members are also sending me like ideas and videos. All of a sudden, I'm just getting all these ideas and videos from Patreon members, and that's really a big help too. I can't see everything. I can't manage to even read all the things and view all the videos that I'd like to view. Yesterday, I was just overwhelmed. It's like I wanted to see so many, and I couldn't do them all at once. Anyway, but if you guys help out on Patreon or elsewhere, send them to me on X. Send them, DM them to me through X. So many different ways that you can respond. Maybe you're not even following me on X. Have you done that yet? Okay. The union in Berlin failed to get a majority of the vote, So Tesla remains a non-union shop in Berlin. That's good news. Okay, I'm putting together a catalyst list, a new catalyst list. Some people call it a keta list. Two items have moved way to the top. One would be clear signs that the market can understand of an Optimus marketing plan, what the margins might look like, the clear use cases. The other would be some kind of a breakthrough on FSD with Tesla saying it's no longer in beta, or that there's a liability shift to Tesla, or some such thing like that, that again, that the market could fully understand. Third would be an abundance, like Tesla coming out and saying, look, we've now got plenty of compute. Our NVIDIA chips and our Dojo supercomputers, all this kind of stuff. Right now, okay, we've got more than enough compute. We're going to have more than enough compute going forward. And so now we're going to have a product. We're going to do something that we're going to sell, rent, license, or whatever to outside folks. Those would be three. What would you put to a catalyst right now? I've never done this before. I've never asked y'all. What do you think would be some things that we could put on the list of things that would move the market? I know I call them market movers instead of catalysts, but there's a very slim difference in my definition between those two. So you call them whatever you want. What do you think that is going to happen maybe in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, that would cause Tesla stock to pop up 10 points or so? Anyway, that'd be great. I'd love to see what you have in mind there. All right, let's see. Also, another thing you can put in the comments below, have you received your FSD yet, your version 12.3, and what does your experience look like? So far, the experience seems to be extremely good. I'd be interested to see, maybe get my own polling going a little bit with you all, putting down below what you're seeing out there. All right, in the general economy this morning, this is in from Market Watch. The number of Americans who applied for unemployment benefits last week fell slightly to 210,000, and it continued to show a surprisingly low level of layoffs in the economy. Last week, it was 212,000. So they've been in this range for a while. It says new jobless claims have ranged from 194,000 to 225,000 per week in the first 3.5 months of 2024. 3.5 months. No, that is absolutely incorrect. In the first 2.5 months. These guys have already skipped through to April. All right. Anyway, in the first 2.5 months, it's ranged in this 194 to 225. And that's extremely low from a historical perspective. Economists polled by Wall Street Journal had forecast this week would come in at 213. Not that that would have made a huge amount of difference. Besides, these guys have been so far off. Anyway, new jobless claims fell in 37 of the 53 states and territories. Oh, okay. I thought they made another mistake. Anyway, sounds like something Joe Biden would say. 37 of the 53 states and territories that report these figures to the federal government. They rose in 16 others. The number of people collecting unemployment benefits in the U.S. meanwhile rose by 4,000 to 1.81 million. These so-called continuing claims have risen slowly, if steadily, since last year, in a sign that it's taking longer for people to find new jobs. So in general, you would call this good news that layoffs are not happening in any significant number yet. But at the same time, those who do get laid off are having more trouble finding work. All right, the numbers for the Philadelphia Fed this morning. They said that the gauge of regional business activity stayed in expansion territory in March, slipping only slightly to 3.2 from 5.2 in the prior months. I call that a slip. I don't know, but why is that a slight slip? That seems like a big slip to me. Any reading above zero indicates improving conditions. Well, okay, good. So manufacturing in the Philadelphia region 2 months in a row is doing well. The reading was stronger than expected. The economists had expected a negative, kind of a bounce back from the prior month. So that's quite a difference. The economists were way off on that one. This is the first time that the index saw 2 months of expansion since April and May of 2022. Well, there you go. A key detail out of this was that the barometer on new orders turned positive for the first time since October, rising to 5.4 in March from a negative 5.2 in February. The shipments index ticked up 1 point to 11.4 in March, and that's the highest reading since August of 22. Measure of 6-month business outlook surged to 38.6 in March from 7.2 in the prior month, highest reading since July of 2021. Anyway, he says that economists are getting a general sense that manufacturing momentum is increasing, but the road expects to remain bumpy. Now, that is the Philadelphia Fed. Remember that each of these different regions have their own reporting, their own ways of even getting the information. Philadelphia Fed now showing some good news, but the most recent New York Fed, et cetera, were not that great on the manufacturing side. And every evidence is that manufacturing is still in trouble. And another bad news piece of information, I'm sorry, I have to report the bad and the good. Truflation is showing up to 2.23 this morning. Now, remember, this was at 1.36, I want to say, until they modified it by about 50 basis points. But this would now have not just a change based on that mechanical change that they made of about 50 basis points. Now this would be up another 40 basis points, maybe at this point. Yeah, about another 40 basis points just on their stats. Okay, so let's take a look at what the markets are doing right now. We have Tesla has been bouncing around all over the place this morning. Is sitting right now at a negative 4 cents. It was as high, it was up around $2-3 earlier. It was down 30 or 40 cents earlier. Apple is down $2. The rest of the Mag 7 are up, including Nvidia up about $5. You have got the Dow Jones up 216. You've got the NASDAQ up 119 and the S&P up 25. If we turn that into percentages, we have got the Dow up 0.55%, the NASDAQ up 0.72, S&P up 0.49. So those three are not that far apart, and Tesla, of course, down 0.2. We've got the Cathie Woods pretty much all in the green this morning. All but one are in the green, and significantly so. They're liking the Fed action from yesterday as Tesla continues back down a little bit to 26 cents in the red space. Okay, now let's take a look at the bonds. And you've got the 30-year is barely down 0.6 of a basis point. We have got the rest of the longs. So like the 2-year is down 2.8 basis points. Let me see if I can do this math real quick here. You've got 4,279 and 4,632. We have got less than 4. So about 35 basis points between them. That is one of the lowest readings I've seen. So the inversion is now continuing to get better. But on the other side of the 2-month, is actually, did I say that the U.S. is up? I said that, right? The 10-year is up 0.6 of a basis point to 4,277. I hope I said that correctly earlier. 4,277, you know, that's above my number, my 4.25. This morning earlier, it was lower than 4.25. And you've got the shorts are down. So you've got the 2-month, which is the one we watch at 5.382, about 110 basis points. So that's about, it's been as high as 150, but recently it's getting closer to that 100, which again is showing a closing of the gap. Okay, let's go in and take a look at oil. We have got oil down tiny bit this morning, 20 cents down to $81. The Brent is $4.07, almost $5 split again. So that's interesting. Natural gas this morning down 0.88% at 168. Okay, so that natural gas is now slipping again. That will be very helpful to the inflation problem. If oil could slip back down to the 70s, that would help a ton. That would really begin to say a lot in terms of where we might go. Dollar continues to slip as it did yesterday after the Fed reporting, and we have got gold blasting through and hitting another record high. It is at now 2,202. Holy mackerel. Copper up 0.27% at $4.06, which, you know, that we, again, kind of look at that $4 as kind of a point of departure. Bitcoin continues its rebound. It's at 66. Anyway, 6,692 now, up 1,061 this morning. Okay, so lots of, yeah, not too bad of a morning, except for that inflation number from Truflation. Going back and looking once again at Tesla, now down 60 cents. So Tesla's kind of going the opposite of the rest of the market this morning. Don't know exactly why. No real reason for that. With the Europe numbers coming in this morning, that should have been a good thing. Maybe it's a little bit of profit taking after a few days of excellent up moves by Tesla. All right, so yesterday I did videos with Scott and with Jeff on the week that changed the world. That's what I'm calling this last week that ended yesterday. 7 days in a row where there was just news after news. Started with SpaceX, going through the NVIDIA thing, the full self, the FSD 12.3 release and all the activity there. I mean, the Neuralink deal yesterday. I mean, holy mackerel, what a week. Even Elon said, hey, pretty good week. he tweeted that this morning. Anyway, both Scott and Jeff had fantastic ideas and thoughts with regard to that last week. And both of those videos did extremely well. But you might have missed them, so I'm going to help you out right here. There's a card on each of those right up there, which you can go and check those out. All right, so there we are for the morning. Tesla continuing down a little bit, 90 cents, still not horrible. And but the market in general up. That's all I got for now. And I'll look forward to seeing you later this morning in the afternoon with Bradford Ferguson, Cern Basher around the noon hour. It's been great talking to you.